When looking for the king of podcasts, you're at the wrong channel.
Well, excuse me!
Looking for good ideas for life? You're far from good hands.
Hey, bud, what's your problem?
If you think the listener is always right, you're far from the right place.
Out of order! Even in the future, nothing works!
Hosted by a Northeasterner by birth, but a rebel by choice.
Are you threatening me?
If you want a host that floats between love and madness,
and we know the night is always gonna be here anyway. Thinking of you's working up my appetite, looking forward to a little afternoon delight.
then play on and listen to Crazy Train Radio.
All right, guys, listen to this blues riff and B. Watch me for the changes and try and keep up, okay?
Warning, creators of this game do understand the subject matter may be offensive to some, but they do honor the families and people that have been affected by these real-life tragedies that these individuals have caused. Want to play a game?
Oh, yeah!
Lover of true crime?
Yes, yes, yes.
Well, we got an interesting game for you to check out.
Wow.
With the mashup of influences such as horror movies, collecting cards, and RPGs.
What?
Led to giving birth to an incredible creation of this game, Killers, the card game.
You are all my children now.
This game is a collectible trading card game featuring some of the most infamous killers, with tidbits of trivia on the back of each card to help you learn some insight to each criminal.
Who the hell are you?
Let's not forget, during the game, cops will be chasing you and these criminals.
I'm a cop, you idiot!
However, check out their website listed through all social media today, which can be found under Killers, the card game.
Am I on the internet?
I want to play a game.
Hey everybody, this is Hollywood from the Gorgeous Ladies of Wrestling, and you're listening to Crazy Train Radio.
Hey folks, it's your least favorite host in the podcast world, Croc, Jonathan Steele. And boy, do we have a good one for you today. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, childrens of all ages. This next guest has done so much in her career, and she's still very active in many ways. She was involved in the original G.L.O.W series. That's Gorgeous Ladies of Wrestling in the 1980s. And then from there transitioned into the acting world and has done stunts. And doing my research, I popped for this one because she actually trained with one guy I spoke with on the phone one time, but was mutual friends with others that Brian knows in my circle. Uncle Gene, Judo Gene Lebell. So let's go ahead and welcome Miss Jeanne B or known as Hollywood. Jeannie, how you doing before I introduce the co-host?
Oh, I'm great. Thanks for having me.
Obviously, and you know the co-host, so I wasn't sure whether or not when I have the musical bed in here to go with the Mary Wells, My Guy, or go Smokey Robinson, My Girl, depending on what side we're looking at. Mr. Brian Young from the Transatlantic History Ramblings podcast. How are you, sir?
I'm fantastic, but I have no idea who this guest is. I've never heard of her in my life. Who is this?
What?
Why do I think you're full of shit with this one? But go ahead.
I will tell everybody, like I've done on my show, like I've done everywhere, that the love of my youth, the love of my life, Hollywood, who graced the walls of my bedroom as a teenager.
Excuse me while I whip this out.
Is here in the house. And what's even more impressive is actually getting to know Jeannie a little bit. And I would say,
I love you.
More appropriate and better for the world than she was even when she was hanging on my wall all those years ago. Jeannie, it's so good to see you again, darling. How are you?
I am very good, and I'm surprised. I'm excited that you're here as well. This is awesome. So good surprise, Jonathan.
Yes, I try once in a while, but
I was thinking about you this morning. Let me say, I was thinking about you this morning. I mean, I think about you every day, but I was thinking about you this morning because I had to wake up extra early to go get all my blood drawn. And what most people don't know about Hollywood, she didn't just magically appear in this world as the perfect specimen of womanhood in the first season of G.L.O.W. She was a professional phlebotomist before that. I want to draw some blood.
You beat me to the punch.
Yeah. And I was
when they were draining my blood, I was thinking of you.
Freddie, I think you were taken out from doing phlebotomy. So fuck off. Yeah, what about that? Being a phlebotomist?
Well, I used to say I used to draw blood, but now I draw it in the ring. Yes, I did. I liked it. I mean, I was good at it. It wasn't that I wanted to be in medical, but after high school, you need a job, and so I'm sure my parents loved that I was in the medical, some type of regular job or whatever you want to call it. But that didn't happen long, because then came along G.L.O.W, the audition in 1985. So I graduated in 81. So I had we will call it a regular job or desk job for a few years, about 4.5 years. And then I went straight in to the glamorous life of pro wrestling. Oh boy.
So, Mr. Young, would you like to start off with a question or two? Because I figured since you know this lovely lady, I'll give you the honors to start things off.
Well, I want to praise Jeannie here and let the people know that you are talking right now to the only woman who was with G.L.O.W from the pilot through the run of the series. In my opinion, the most important member of that team, that staff, that company is right here with us right now, Jonathan. You got to appreciate this is G.L.O.W. Hollywood was G.L.O.W. At least in my eyes.
In your eyes, yeah. I mean, all the girls made it, but for me, season 1, the pilot girls, that is G.L.O.W. to me. Like Gilligan's Island, you have your first castaways. We were, those 12 girls who did not know a thing about wrestling. Mondo trained us. We did that training with him, and now all of a sudden we're doing matches. We had to sell it. Here's this little company selling to NAPI convention with the big ones, with Vince's company, and here's us, and we sold it. So kudos to these 12, me being one of them, because everybody that came after, well, they got to see it on television first. And none of us, I don't think anybody was a pro wrestler fanatic or fan. I know I wasn't. I knew all kinds of sports, but I didn't know that one. But then what did I do? I stayed. I stayed with the company through thick and thin. I did it afterwards. I started my own company, and today I still do it. So that tells you the passion that I have for that sport.
Obviously.
Yeah. And what's amazing is I tell you this all the time. None of you girls get the credit you deserve for what you did. The fact that you learned to take those bumps, that you went through that training camp, and they gave you a 10-year course in working in this business in a few months, and y'all pulled it off.
Yeah, we had to. Now, we've talked about this before. I think if we would have had better training, more training from pros, not training from girl to girl, because I talked to you about it when season 2, 3, and 4 were coming along. Mondo was gone. We had no disrespect, but Killer Tomato was a pro wrestler, and she came in to help as well. And Princess Jasmine, she was a pro wrestler that David McLean had brought in. But once those ladies left right away, so now you're stuck with girls training girls. So I just think that more and better training would have made us even stronger, better wrestlers. But we were there for 4 seasons, and we did the best that we could with what we had. And
you're still all remembered to this day, so you did a damn good job.
Yes,
and
unbelievable.
Part of that too, as far as, and I know Hollywood Jeannie knows, the first guest I ever had on Crazy Train Radio back in June of 2012, and she was part of the call when we had her back on, Little Egypt, Angelina.
Yes, cool. Wow. That's 12 years ago.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
She was the first person that I had on. And
wow.
Yeah. And she's locally near me, about 10 minutes south, 15 minutes south.
I love it.
Love Angelina to death, and she has an awesome background. She was selling T-shirts and stuff. She wasn't in the wrestling business as well, but she's been a champion of G.L.O.W from day one.
In your eyes.
No. What I'm saying, she's been a champion that, like, she was always drumming up.
Both of us didn't get this. Let me tell you. Poor her and poor me. We didn't get the crown at all. But
you didn't need the crown. You were the face of the company.
Yeah.
It's like when they say, why didn't they ever put the belt on Andre? They didn't need to put the belt on Andre. They didn't need to put the belt on Piper. Yeah. They didn't need to put the crown on Hollywood.
Yeah. Thank you. I love that. I need to quote that for my book, because it's finally, Brian, it's finally to the point where all I'm doing is scanning the photos at this moment. I'm super excited. So this should be out for the summer. I would say July 1st. I want it for CAC, but it's hooray. I've changed the title a couple of times, but I had 3 different editors looking at it. And the third editor that I had come in to look at it and go over it, he just added a whole nother element to the book with his head. 4 heads are better than one. They say, he was like, Jeannie, what about this? You forgot about the G.L.O.W magazine. He goes, we are going to make this the best fan book for your fans and so thank goodness, because we all have great minds, but we all don't think alike. We think differently. So it's hooray for Hollywood, the original G.L.O.W girl. That's what it will be called. And I should have that out. I'm hoping before July 1st, actually. Nice. So I'm excited.
And who is that editor that came in? Some unknown hack?
Say that again.
And who was that special editor that came in to help?
Oh, well, we have Dan. First of all, Dan, the book was written with Dan Murphy, our friend, and I loved his voice. When I had asked Dan if he would do it, he didn't stutter. He goes, I would be honored to. And it was very cool. I was just like, this is so cool. So it's with Dan Murphy. The third guy, of course, John Cosper is helping us with it as well. And he's wonderful as well. I love John. Great guy. He came out here a couple of times, as did Dan, on his way through, so we could do some interviewing, one-on-one. His name is Ken. Oh my God, why can I not think of Ken's last name right now? And he's in the Illinois
Casanova?
area. No, he is just, I can't explain it. He loves rock and roll. as well. So he has a huge rock and roll background. And he loves G.L.O.W. and he loves all kinds of wrestling. But he just came out to see me recently. I was in Illinois, East Moline, Illinois, to do a convention there with Fred Ottman, The Godfather, and Coco Beware. So it was us four, and he drove out, and we got to see each other one-on-one and just clear up a lot of things. So I'm doing the book, by the way. I did it in parts. I did a lot of due diligence because I'm like, I want to tell this part one. I want to tell G.L.O.W, all of G.L.O.W, part 2, and I want to talk about after the TV show. So I noticed that Prince Harry, Paris Hilton, the books that they had done, they had them in parts and then sub-chapters after that. So if you're not interested in the beginning part of me growing up and whatever, you can go straight to part 2 or part 3. So I think it was better that we did it that way. So I'm super excited.
Every word should be savored.
Yeah.
I want to bring up 2 things that were brought up before she mentioned the book, which is awesome. And I'm definitely going to be getting a copy or 2 myself. But first was, you mentioned about Andre the Giant. And I popped there a little bit. You see me give the thumbs up because
me too.
I was watching a previous interview you did. I don't know if it was from last year or 2022 at a show. And you mentioned about maybe wanting to wrestle the guys. And I mentioned in the intro working out with Judo Gene and some grappling classes and stuff. And you worked out with the guys. But you mentioned in that interview specifically, you would have loved to have been able to do something with Andre. So,
and you know what? I found out not this year, but last year. I'm like, I was wondering why I liked him so much, but we both share the exact same birthday. Is that crazy?
Thursday.
We're both May 19th. I thought, that's kind of cool. No wonder I like him. He's just a good guy. Tells the truth, honest, gentle giant. I don't know. That's something to, something for me to live up to, is especially the truth. That's what this book is about. It is also classy. It is not trashy. I will tell you guys that. So it'll be I mean, we all can make different kinds of books. I'm just not that person. Yeah. So it's classy.
And the other thing I wanted to bring up that I noticed, and it clicked right away last night, because I was sitting here eating dinner and doing some homework to do this today. And I told Brian that I went back and watched the G.L.O.W documentary from 2012. And I noticed right off the bat the ring. Now, obviously, the rings, it's not trampolines, folks. But you guys specifically, because I know a school local to me that's still active, they don't use them anymore. But you guys, it seemed like you were working in half rings, which made them even harder.
They weren't half, but they were smaller. It did make it harder.
Yeah.
So the ropes were here instead of up here.
Yeah.
We get over it. And of course, you're right. The inside was smaller. I was having a hard time trying to run up and do a flying head scissor. I mean, I'd have to go all the way to the back, to the side to get enough speed to get up and up that high. I wasn't using the ropes to do it.
Well, I should clear this up because you bring up a good point with that as far as going back. When I say half ring, obviously they seem, because guys were in a studio at the Riviera and all, it seems like it was a 16 by 16 ring.
Yes.
But the half ring, when I'll talk about as far as height, where you have the stairs and stuff, where the style of ring you had in the half ring is any person could just take a half a step and you'd be and use the ropes and be up. Where if you look at a WWE ring or a AEW ring, they're raised up a little more. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah. Yes, it does. Of course. Yeah.
It actually made your rings harder too.
That's what I'm getting at.
Don't have the space, the air underneath them, the planks that make them softer. So girls were taking these serious bumps on rings that were harder than boxing rings.
I've been in a boxing ring and oh my God, those are hard. I will say knock on wood, and I get two versions of the ring. I have someone telling me there's no coil, or what is it?
Spring.
The spring underneath, and one person telling me that yes, there was one underneath. I'm like, well, which one is telling me the truth? So I have to clear that up a little bit. So all I know is when I took those bumps, they were okay. They did, I guess, because we didn't know any other rings, right? But remember that, knock on wood, I did not get hurt. I did not tear anything. And I was taking the bumps. Mountain Fiji, who's 350 pounds, she's picking you up, and I'm talking. There is no gentleness in her body slams. She would just down. I would scream, Brian. I would scream all the way down because here I am, 110 pounds. Back then, I'm screaming out so that I don't lose my air, because that losing your air, I've learned it a couple of times. Trying to, he was relentless with picking us up and throwing. It was just like, I was more like Gumby, honestly. Like, you'll hear me say that too. I mean, I was kind of bendy, tall, lanky.
Hey, Brian,
Sure.
it sounds like she was Fiji. I'm talking about was going back to her shot put days, because she actually made the 80 Olympic team, but we all know what happened there. But
yes, we do. Yeah.
Yeah, you gals, when people say, and this always bothers me, when people say wrestling's fake. Wrestling's not fake. Wrestling might be predetermined. It's not fake.
No.
The bumps you took and the injuries that were sustained in G.L.O.W. I mean, anybody who doesn't believe, just go look up the Susie Spirit injury.
Oh my God.
Or Angelina's ankle injury.
Or
knee injury, excuse me.
Or all the other ladies that were injured. There was a lot. I mean, I saw tons of girls go, you guys. I mean, being the pilot and 4 seasons, they were coming and going. And, I mean, we had a good crew. Season 1 and season 2 was a good crew of girls. But by the time it got to season 3 and 4, there was a few good athletes in there. But like I said, it's not my favorite. Season 3 and 4, no disrespect to any of them, but I will always say it, even to their face, not my favorite. But I get to pick. You know what I mean?
It's your choice. It's your opinion.
I get to tell you which ones were the best, because we got away with so much in that first and second year as well. There's stuff that would not fly today.
Speaking of that, I would say it's a political correctness.
Yes.
We're definitely touching on it, especially like you said today. It'd be like, holy shit! Like, just the way
I can't believe I just heard that or saw that. Yeah.
Which was
the housewives wouldn't go over today?
Why the fuck not?
Then let's talk about that Gestapo match, that Nazi match we did. Oh my God! No way.
Hold on, I'm calling Nikita now.
I won't talk about the others. Those will be in the book, but none of that would fly. None. No way.
All the time we've known each other and all the times we've talked, and even in formal interviews we've done, I've never asked you something that I can't believe I didn't ask. When you were in the studio in Vegas, obviously it was a little bit more professionally done. They probably had medical staff on hand, especially since it was televised. They had to be insured. When they put you on the road and did the G.L.O.W tours, were you taken care of in any way like you were at home in Vegas?
I don't think that the paramedics were with us on the road. So, I don't remember. That's a great question. I'm going to ask Johnny C about that. I don't think that we were. I remember when girls, they were getting the flu and getting sick, and Lightning and I always were trying to work out and eat well. We would get on the bus and we'd hear everyone coughing and sneezing. And this is back then. We're like, all the sickies go to the back of the bus. Just stay away from us, I remember. And I saw Johnny C one time. I looked out and he just walked off the bus. He ran and he just threw up. And oh God, it was just like, okay, we got to go. Everyone's got the flu. Well, not everyone had the flu. Most of them did, though. It's being on the road. I think when you're young, you're going out after the shows. sometimes you're going to sign autographs here, you're eating over here, you're meeting these people here, you're on the go, go, go. So there's not a lot of sleep. I learned, that as I got older, that sleep is my best friend. It is. If I don't have sleep, nothing. No. And drinking, the whole drink. I mean, we had lots of rules. We talked about it. You couldn't drink or go out. You had to be in by midnight before a show. And I broke all those rules.
No. Hollywood was the partier? No.
That's what happens when you're done the pilot and 2 seasons ahead of season 3 and 4. Ha. Yeah, we had so much fun. I got to tell you, the group of girls were amazing all seasons, season 3, 4, 1 and 2. I mean, you're on TV, you're touring, you're performing. What is there to bitch about? You know what I'm saying? It was a fun time. If I had to do it all over again too, I would do it, but I wish it was a different time. I wish it was a different time period when we had these and social media and all that good stuff. But
so do I, because I have every box set that was ever released of G.L.O.W, from VHS to DVD to everything. And that's still what? A 1/100th of what you filmed.
Yeah.
Most of it doesn't exist anymore.
I know. I know that there's got to be the G.L.O.W, the film, not the film, the videos, the round 2, what is it, half-inch?
Yeah, what half-inch?
Yeah, it might be half-inch tapes. I'm trying to think, how did all the stations get? Was it on tape? It's got to be on something, right? They had to have copies.
No, because it was just like all the territories back in the 80s.
You'd circulate the tape.
Bicycle the tape around, and then when it would get back to the home base, they would tape over it because tape was so expensive.
Right.
Which is why there's so little Memphis or Louisiana, or all that stuff's gone.
I see.
Video was so expensive, they would tape over it. And I'm sure.
But we all did.
Yeah, I'm sure so much of your work was taped over.
There you go.
Like I said, I think there was 3 VHS box sets put out at one point or another. I have all those. I have the DVD box sets, but it doesn't scratch the surface.
No, it doesn't. And I know that people have seen some of our stuff on Tubi TV, TUBI, but all you're seeing is season 3 and 4. You know why? Yeah. And do you know why that is? Because David McLean has season 1. This is what I was told. David owns season 1 and 2, which would make sense because that was during his time. He owns those. So he's not, whatever he has or not has, he's not letting season 1 and 2 go to Tubi. Another person, producer, has season 3 and 4, and that's why you see those on Tubi.
I'm curious to know, because you mentioned about there may have been some fun had.
So, honey, I'd like to tame your shrew.
During your time in G.L.O.W.
Yeah.
The 4 years. And rightfully so, I get it. You're in your 20s and just you're Vegas, just a whole bit. I get that. But with that being said, obviously with the male counterparts, we always say Rock and Roll Express and you know, these different good looking baby faces. It's like, oh, the ladies were knocking down the doors. G.L.O.W, they specifically want you to be in character 24/7, especially around the hotel and everything else like that.
It was the day of kayfabe.
Yes. Was there a lot of male groupies for the G.L.O.W ladies to, if they wanted to have a date or whatever, have some fun, whatever the case is, to the extent of it? Was there the same thing for the ladies like we hear about with the guys?
But I want to say one thing to the American people. I want you to listen to me. I'm going to say this again. I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
If there was, no one was talking about it, but of course, you're human.
Yeah, no, you know.
And I'm Hollywood and I break the rules. So, oh boy, did I get in some trouble about little things like that. No, you're not supposed to have anybody in your room. Well, what? What do you mean we can't have anybody in our room? I see so and so and so and so do it all the time. Of course, I didn't want to throw anyone under the bus.
No, I was going to
So
say
I
Iron
didn't
Sheik. The Iron Sheik story, throwing people under the bus. What about JVD? And never mind. That's
exactly.
That's
but
a whole
you know what?
different
We weren't
story.
allowed. We did not have any fans on the bus. I will tell you that. So that we had entourage that followed us from the shows to the restaurants. One time, Vine and I, we were in Miami at the Night Center, our first live gig, and they came to, I don't know how they found our room, but they knocked on our door and I was going to open it. And Vine goes, no, don't open it. She was freaked out. You can't open that door. I go, he just wants an autograph. So Vine made him, she goes, put the piece of paper under the door. I want to see the guy. She goes, no, do not open that door. And I'm like, okay, see, that's where we were different. I was not as conservative as my counterpart.
Another interesting thing I learned about G.L.O.W. And I don't know if she was telling me the truth. Jeannie might have been lying to me to save my feelings.
If you've ever been accused of lying through your tooth.
She seems pretty honest, though. Go ahead.
I don't know, because all those letters that I'd written to her all those years when G.L.O.W. was on that never got responded, all those marriage proposals she never responded to from me.
I wish we would have got those.
Yeah, they protected them from their own fan mail.
Yep.
They didn't want your heads getting swelled. You girls had no idea how big and how over you were.
We had no idea until Hollywood, who's now season 3, 4, gets to go home on Saturdays. So now I'm in California Monday and Sunday, Monday and Tuesday. Hollywood goes to pick up her check at the office in Los Angeles, looks over to the right and sees a big giant mail of bag. And I go, what's that? Jackie was our secretary. She goes, oh, that's the G.L.O.W. mail. I go, what? I go, what? I freaking ran over there. I wanted to put that thing on my back and take off. The letters were insane. I know your letter was in there somewhere. I'm so
I thought because Brian's letters were usually written in crayon back then, but that's a whole nother.
They're still written in crayon.
Yeah, baby.
I also just mentioned this to Brian before you came on as we were setting up, is I didn't realize that you did Playboy. Obviously, I was aware of things like Married with Children and your acting career you've done since, the acting, the stunts, all that stuff. How was working for Playboy? And obviously, you were comfortable in your own skin to do something like that. But I've talked to others who've done it and stuff, and it's like most were comfortable with, hey, it is what it is. But others were like, oh my God, they weren't thinking about, hey, 10, 15, 20 years down the line, oh my God, my kids might see this. Well, you know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, because when you're young, you're not thinking smart, especially during the 80s. Right. I was very comfortable. As soon as I got on the set and I'm looking, no one cares if you're naked. They don't care. They're setting up lights. This one's doing your hair. This one's doing this, blah, blah, blah. It was the most professional company. And I'm an extrovert anyway, or was back then. So I'm like, this is fine. Shy, yes. But when you're confident about, I didn't have a lot of fat on my body. I would eat McDonald's. I could eat whatever I wanted. So I didn't have some of those fears that a lot of other ladies were fearing during that time. I can't eat this. I can't do that. I just went in there and did but I did make sure that it was classy. So if you see the 8x10 that is in it, you don't see, you see legs that are crossed. Across the bathtub, but I do talk about that too in the book, and it was just one experience. And then from there, I did a couple they had other magazines. I forget what they called them. Like one is Playboy's Career Girls. So there was a photo in there, different types or different topics of different girls. Could have been stewardesses.
This was post G.L.O.W., correct?
Yes. Well, no. First of all, the Playboy that the Playboy that I went in was December 1989, so that's G.L.O.W.
Still,
the
yeah,
last season, yeah.
Yeah, we're in season, but the ones that I did after were post.
How did it go over with the other girls? Since it was season 4, I mean, was there jealousy? Was there resentment? Was there...
Probably. Yes, I would have been mad. Of course there was. Of course. And I don't know who it was up to. I'm thinking, was it our director? Because that's who I had the meeting with. He said, Playboy wants some girls. And, and ironically, I was blonde back then, very blonde, and he picked 3 blondes. Maybe that's because he was married to Jane Mansfield and he, preferred blondes. Gentlemen prefer blondes. So it was Godiva, myself, and Thunderbolt were the 3 ladies that were picked from G.L.O.W. to do a pictorial in December '89.
And I think, too, Brian asked about the jealousy there, because there's something else I want to bring up with the stunts and all before we wrap, because I know time-wise and all that fun stuff. Jeannie, thank you for the time. But I also think when Brian says about the jealousy, too, the thing that popped in my head there as you were answering that is, at that time point with December of '89, season 4, all that stuff, being you were there from the beginning, there was a certain respect with you, and you had earned that right to be.
Right.
If that, obviously you chose to do so, yes, but it was, all right, you definitely got to be one of them. You earn that respect to say, she's professional, she's this, all good stuff.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, that does make sense. I thought, because we would have shot then in 1988, since it came out in '89. We probably shot at the end of '88. So season 3 going into season 4. And you know what, though? I didn't hear anybody saying, oh, I wish I never heard a bad word during that time.
Who was
but then
say
again,
something?
I wasn't there the whole time either. See, there's that. I left on Saturdays. I got there Wednesday, did our rehearsals, our dress rehearsals, did all the PSAs that I had to do and the different comedy sketches that I was just in and out of there. So I really didn't get to be there 24/7 like the rest of the ladies. So, and I had earned that, because I wasn't going to come back.
Again, goes back to the respect that you earned.
To respect again. But I never heard anybody say, at least to my face, nothing mean at all. Like I said, everybody, I thought that in season, occasionally me and the farmer's daughters would go at it, but that's because we went to the same school and we knew the same people. So there was that.
There's that
young crap that you go through. But those were the best matches, by the way. My matches with Sally, the farmer's daughter, with the red top. Oh my God. Oh, you would think we hated each other. And, they were great.
Another thing before you go that you really, in the wrestling business, deserve credit for this more than anybody, because you were a good 10 to 20 years ahead of your time as a heel worker who was doing the positive PSAs.
Yeah.
They had the bad girl out there doing the anti-drug, the anti-drinking. I mean, that's something that until recently the male wrestlers wouldn't do. They wouldn't let the heels break character to do that. You were that far ahead of your time. You're trendsetter. I mean, come on, let's face it.
And I had to learn those lines. There were several of them. I knew you better do them right the freaking first time. You want to get out of here and catch your flight? Do you want your director yelling at you in front of everybody? No. You get in there, you don't, you just get in and do your job and get out. I mean, there was a lot of laughing. I also had, when I was trying to deliver these lines, those cameramen and some of the lighting guys would have signs and they'd write Hollywood, let's get high. Like, oh, I was trying to do this. I was trying to get him. And I was like trying not to break character, not to laugh. Matt had no idea, the director, that behind his head, they were holding up signs. You had to be there because it was pretty funny. And the 80s, what a great time to grow up. The music is happening. You're young. You have the world in the palm of your hand. And sometimes you don't know it. You know, sometimes you look back and you pinch yourself. Did that really happen? Was that really me? Did I get to win that match? And all those people, you know, were those girls really crimping their hair like you? It's just amazing, and it warms my heart.
Can I totally mark out and
Go
be
for it.
like
Yes.
total glow Mark right now for a
Yes.
moment? Season 1, why at the end of all the episodes were they trying to set you up with Dave and he wouldn't have anything to do with you? Was he insane?
Oh, I know, right? Those were fun.
Those were funny
basically,
sketches.
Yeah, those sketches were great. We were not supposed to wear anything like Nike, you know, no logos. But if you go back, I'm wearing a logo of FM Station, which they didn't know was a rock club that used to be there. And I'm like, I'm wearing this because they're not going to know. And I had FM Station with my leather skirt going up there and my hair. But one of the reasons they were trying to set me up, or Aunt Kitty, because let's see, how did they tell me that? That if he married me, then she would own the company. Something about her, she would get the company. So it was something like that.
They were great sketches, and they dropped them after the first season. I never understood that.
Yeah, because we had new characters, you know, same writers, but, you know, new knock jokes, new waitress jokes. It was very hee-haw, you know.
Oh, yeah.
I know, right?
My final question I want to bring up, and it's actually a two-parter, and one I might have to take out. But first, I got to hear, because I've mentioned it a few times, working out with Uncle Gene Lebell. How was that for you?
Oh, my gosh. I learned a lot. I remember walking into that class. I'm like, where's the girls? There was like 3 of us. The rest were all males. But what I loved about the class and with Gene, because I did some of those moves with him as well, very professional, but wrestling and doing that with the men made us tougher. Do you know what I mean? I go, like, they would say pair up. I'm like, I'm pairing up with someone, a male, because I need to be better. I don't want a girl. I need competition like badly. So yeah, I did a few sessions over there, and then I broke my leg, and then I didn't go back. And I was so bummed, but I didn't break my leg there. Thank God. I broke it outside of the ring, and that's a whole nother story. But you know what? I still have the 7 screws and 2 plates right here. As long as this leg goes all the way back and doesn't bother me so much, I'm good as gold. It's all good.
And with this stunt world, and this is the part I may or may not have to take out, I'm curious to know, because Brian knows some of the people I associate with because of the show. Have you ever worked with my other badass friend? Because I would consider you one of these badasses as well. And Julie Michaels, who is one of the top female stunt women.
I know who she is. Blonde. Is she still blonde? I remember her in Los Angeles. Oh yeah, what a sweet girl. Absolutely. She's a coordinator.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. She's one of the legit badasses of all time.
I never got to work with her because I moved to Tennessee, but wow, I did. But I will say something. Here in Tennessee, there's not a lot of movies, but guess who lives here is Nicole Kidman. And Nicole Kidman had a movie last year, and Hiro Koda, which is good friends with Chavo Guerrero as well. Chavo had told him, find Jeanne Basone here in Nashville. And so I was doing some stunt driving, not like race car stunt driving, just your typical driving through shots, dropping off kids from school on a Nicole Kidman movie, which I haven't seen come out yet. It's supposed to be for Netflix. So we'll see when that comes out. That'll be cool.
I will definitely connect you with Julie again so you guys can.
She's a beautiful girl. Yeah. Awesome. Thank you for that.
But and thank you again for the time, where can people follow you social media wise? Because obviously you mentioned earlier about the book that you're going to hopefully have out by July 1st.
Yep. So if you guys are Instagram, it's official G.L.O.W Hollywood. Twitter, X. I'm calling it Twitter. X is G.L.O.W Hollywood. And then there's a Facebook page, and I think it's my last name now. I can't even talk to you about we could talk forever about Facebook. I hate them. I had to start all over.
Yes.
But it's under the left, all over. I had to start over. Basone Jeanne Marie. So that's how you will find me.
And no.
Oh, and my soap. Oh my
Your
God.
soaps, the best soaps in the world.
Look. Can you see this one?
Yes.
Okay, this is all different colors. The reason I did this rainbow, this is it's not ready yet. I made this today. So this is going to be for June, which is Pride Month, and I always do a Pride soap. So why not? This is my Pride soap this year. So it'll be white inside and some nice these colors on the inside. That is Nashville Botanica with a K. So Instagram is Hollywood Botanica or Nashville Botanica with a K. And if you are in the Nashville International Airport, guess what? My soap is in there as well at a store called Nashville Jam Session. So there you have it.
Delivered to Buffalo a lot because me and Sarah both love them.
Thank you very much.
Well, Brian, the funny part is as she says that, as we wrap here.
Yes, I bathe.
Yeah, well, no, I wasn't going to make fun of your hygiene. I already made the crayon joke. So what I was going to say was Phil Vassar's saxophonist, who I know Phil and that whole gang, his saxophonist, Patty, plays at the Nashville airport all the time.
Oh, wow.
So I'm going to have her pick me up some soap from
There you go. There you go.
Jeannie, thank you so much for the time.
Thanks, Jonathan. Finally, right? And Brian, it's so great to see you again. You guys are awesome.
I always love talking to you. I love you, darling. I hope we can talk soon.
I hope so. And I'd like to see you guys. So we'll try to make that ACE thing work. You know what I mean?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, that would be great because I'd love to see you guys.
Hey there, Friday fans. We know how much you enjoy the movies. Enjoy grabbing your Friday merchandise and interacting with the Friday family, whether it be at conventions or during our particular watch-alongs. Well, when you're looking to get yourself masks, why not check out our friends over at Camp Blood Customs out of New York State and order your specific custom mask from any of the films. All orders are made specifically. Your needs and wants are. Make sure you find Camp Blood Customs on Facebook, Instagram, and all over social media and order yours today.
Hey everybody, it's Little Egypt. You're tuning in to Crazy Train Radio.